Hello and welcome to Monday. So a few bits I want to kind of go through today that have been released on Warcom about 11th edition. The first one is the fact that we will have the game being played live with 3 different games. We don't have long to wait to see them. So 25th of May, they're going to be back to back. First one, Armageddon Operation Imperator, which is going to be featuring the kind of different units that you can get in the box set. You then have Play on Tabletop having Death Guard versus Tau, and finally Richard Siegler from Art of War versus Liam VSL, who has won the UK TC LGT event twice or 3 times, some insane amount in a row. They'll be playing Admech versus Eldar. So it kind of gives you an idea of what's going to be included. So the first game is going to have kind of quite a wide range of units, which is good. Interesting that Desolation Marines are kind of making an appearance, but yeah, you have the box set plus kind of extras, and then the same goes for kind of orcs. You have the kind of the box plus extras. And yeah, it'll be kind of interesting to see with the finally the last one being the WCW from 2025, I'm assuming, because the 2026 one obviously hasn't happened yet. But Admech versus Eldar, so it'll be interesting to see how kind of those armies look based on the fact they're going to be updated to be in line with 11th edition. Yeah. So that is on the 25th, so it's not long to wait until we actually get to see kind of 3 games worth of how 11th edition plays. Hopefully we'll also get to see a little bit more in terms of train layouts beyond the 2 they've shared, because that would be interesting to see. They then earlier today shared about the Dakar rig, one of the models kind of included in, which is very cool as a model. Kind of let us know what it kind of looked like. So it is a T8 model. It has a 3-up save, it has a 5-up invuln, 11 wounds, 7-up leadership, and OC3. It moves 8. So fairly similar to a lot of kind of box naught dreads in terms of durability, other than it being a 3+ save instead of a 2-up, and having a 5-up invuln, which most of them outside of some of the Space Wolf ones don't really have an invuln. The Blitz Cannon, there's no new kind of keywords or anything that they haven't already shared. Both of the weapons have heavy, both of them are 24-inch range. You have effectively a higher strength and AP heavy bolter, with it being strength 7 and AP 2 as opposed to current strength 5 AP 1. And then damage 2, and then the rockets, which are damage 3, strength 10, AP 2, and 6 attacks, which is, you know, a lot of shots. If it stands still or only moves 3, it's going to be hitting on 4s. And then if it shoots non-monster vehicle, it gets an additional 6 attacks on its Blitz Cannon for 14 shots, which kind of will help with the ability to get a few more sustained, as well as a few more hits, primarily. Interestingly, underneath they talk about the fact that it's a potent walker, and that it has the character keyword. Somewhere it said that. There it is. Yeah, as the Dakar rig gets the full benefit of the walker keyword, it's also a character. It doesn't say that on the datasheet though. It says Big Mech, but it doesn't have the character keyword, so I don't know if that's an omission or an error from either kind of part. So it'll be interesting to see if this does have the character keyword, because I think that makes it worse, personally, as obviously things like Assassinate and Bring It Down on top trigger off the same model. You would still be able to take 3 of them, but I don't know if it is beneficial overall, other than from in one detachment being able to only take kind of big mechy stuff and have this as your warlord. But yeah, we'll have to wait to see whether this is the datasheet from the Armageddon box and then the full datasheet has character. But yeah, I think it's okay. It's you know, not overpowered, which kind of most of the stuff other than some of the death card bits haven't felt that way. But then we have, who knows whether Knights will kind of buck that trend. We have both Imperial and Chaos Knights. So the Imperial Knight side, we have the Dominus Foe Breakers as the first detachment they're sharing. Their detachment rule is Reign of Devastation. If they're making attacks against a unit in area terrain, they get +1 to hit, which is pretty solid as an ability. Most of the time I can't imagine you want your Dominus Knights outside the Valiant to be within 12 to get the +1 ballistic skill from plunging fire, and you know the Valiant's main gun is a flamer, so it doesn't really care so much about +1 ballistic skill. We then have the enhancement, the Blessed Plate, can make that unit +1 toughness, which takes it to T13, which it was previously, and then kind of will make them slightly more durable against most anti-tank. But yeah, this is what they were before, and then they changed it, and obviously Knights last kind of time this year broke the game because of that change, so it'll be interesting to see how much impact that has and how much it costs to make it T13. You then have the stratagem Foebreaker Firestorm, which will only affect your Imperial Knight Dominus units. So when a friendly engaged is selected to shoot, basically their blast weapons lose blast and gain +1 attack, so they can shoot into combat. Yep. So again, these are 1 point detachments, so then you're not expecting them to impact massively, but yeah, I mean it makes them slightly better. They hit on 2s, or one of them hits on 2s, and they can shoot into combat for a CP, which is kind of nice. I still think the Dominus units are well overcosted for what they actually do. They're a bit too slow to engage with the game, being movement 8, and with the new terrain, I don't know how far they're going to get quick enough to kind of be useful, but we shall see. We then have the Questa Forge Pact, which is the Grotmus one that they've kind of recreated. So the friendly Imperial Knight models have the following ability: assisted targeting. When an AdMech unit is within 6 of this model, that AdMech unit has +1 ballistic skill and heavy. Friendly Tech Priests have, in your command phase, you can select 1 Imperial Knight model within 3. That unit heals D3. And then you can include Tech Priest Dominus, Tech Priest Manipulus, Marshal, Rangers, Vanguard. So yeah, add some little buffs. It's nice, it's cute. Adding heavy and +1 ballistic skill is huge. Particularly if you can just kind of include a Rangers or Vanguard unit, particularly whichever one of those two is the one that has sticky, is a nice little buff. It also doesn't impact the entire army now, which was part of the big problem of it. You then can give a Tech Priest with Magos Questoris an extra healing of 2 wounds via the Tech Priest. So yeah, the ability to kind of twin this with Free Blade means you can kind of ramp up the damage soaking of Knights potentially by constantly healing them. And then we have Vengeance of the Machine Cult. Any phase when a friendly Imperial Knights Titanic unit is destroyed by an enemy unit, that unit is marked until the end of the battle. While a unit is marked, friendly AdMech units reroll wounds. Yeah, that's cute for 1 CP. And then we have Throne Bonded Outriders. So this is all about the little guys. Driven from their lairs, while a friendly Armiger unit is affected by a Bondsman ability, that unit's range attacks have ignores cover. So yeah, another little bonus for being bonded by a Questoris Knight or a Cerastus, because they are the only ones with Bondsman abilities. Ignoring modifiers to hit in the new edition will be pretty good because they don't get plunging fire. Enhancement and an upgrade, you can give to 3 units. When you target this unit with Fire Overwatch or Heroic Intervention, it costs 1 less CP. Yeah, being able to heroically intervene for 1 CP to anything within 6 is pretty solid. For the 2 CP variant, having a free heroic is always good, and then a free Overwatch is not bad. Neural Lash for 1 CP. In your command phase, 1 friendly Imperial Titanic unit, select 1 battle shocked armature within 12, unbattle shocked. Yep, I think those kind of strats are going to be really important, with the fact that battle shock carries on forever and all time if you keep failing, which I'm really good at, especially on armatures who have a leadership of 7. We then have the villainous brethren of the Chaos Knights, Bastions of Tyranny, Annihilate the Unworthy. Again, this is on the equivalence of a Dominus, but this is +1 to hit against battle shocked units. Hateful Dominion, Knight Tyrant. The unit can reroll to determine the attacks of a weapon. Yep, that's really solid on the Knight Tyrant, because most of its guns have a non-predetermined number of attacks, so that's really solid. And then as a stratagem, 1 CP for Pitiless Focus. Your movement phase, when a friendly Knight Tyrant unit is selected to make a fallback, that move does not stop it from shooting, so it has fallback and shoot. Yep, that's a really good strat for 1 CP. I don't know if it was going to make the Knight Tyrant table worthy, but fallback and shoot is always good. Hunting Warpack, which will be focused on the War Dogs. Scenting Fear, once per battle round per army. In your shooting phase, you can select 1 visible enemy unit within 12 of a War Dog, +6 detection range, so another one that increased hidden from 15 to 21. Yeah, I mean, it seems a lot of people are getting that one. And then an enhancement, you can give executioners, up to 3 of them, because it has upgrade. You can give them ignores cover. Insensate Bloodthirst, 1 CP. In a fight phase, you can target a War Dog unit. That unit gets a Feel No Pain of 5+, always solid. And then Iconoclast Fiefdom. You can include damned units, Chaos Cultists, up to 500 points, and they get reroll leaderships. Yeah, solid. Iconoclast Idol is an aura. While a friendly damned unit is within 6 inches of this model, you can target it for Heroic Intervention for free, or 1 CP on the charge anything. Yeah, so as long as your cultists are nearby the Chaos Knight, you can heroic with it. And then we have Dark Sacrifice for 1 CP. You choose 1 friendly damned unit in your command phase within 9 inches of a Knight model. You select that Chaos Knight model within 9 inches of the damned unit, good lord, and roll D3 + 3. The damned unit suffers that many mortal wounds, the Chaos Knight heals that many. So you kill cultists to heal your knight. So yeah, some good elements I think within most of them. It will come down to points as ever, as we now know from the Q&A that they are going to be adapting the points for the new edition. But a few other things they've kind of now shared is the maximum bonus or penalty to your hit roll is still +1 -1, but with ballistic skill being kind of added, you can kind of get around it. It's still the same as currently, and then reminding us that battle shock doesn't just disappear. So yeah, a few things shared there. Done it at a kind of quite a quick pace, but yeah, let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, all that jazz, and see you with the Emperor's Children